So one thing about me is that I do not like Battle Royale games. PUBG, Fortnite, Warzone is just not my thing. But Umar said that it's because I am not a gamer enough for these games. Woo! So I started playing Apex Legends. Heck, I'll do you a better one. I went all the way and started to play Apex Legends Mobile, even using the Black Shark 5 Pro. So the first hurdle was to get attuned to using my thumbs to do almost everything, from moving to shooting to crouching and all that things that come in between. It was a pain and I hated it. The lack of usable digits was just really annoying, but that's also why I chose to use the Black Shark 5 Pro, because of these pop-up shoulder buttons which kind of acts like the shoulder buttons of a controller. Now, the thing that I really struggled with the most was how was I going to have all my fingers over so many buttons? And I know that some of you have this weird claw-like position when playing on your phone, but I found that to be very painful. So that was like the biggest problem that I faced. Another thing is that I'm a low sensitivity player. That means that my mouse is set to about 1200 dpi, and I further reduce the sensitivity in my games to about 15 to 28 depending on the games. That means that I have to do a lot more movement to get my camera to move. So that was tough to achieve on a mobile phone because it's a smaller screen, right? And that was also the next problem. Doing a sharp 180-degree turn if the enemy was behind me, I guess that the touch sampling of 720 Hz and apparently it's like 8.3 milliseconds of response time, which just sound very fast, but again, as a person who is not a seasoned mobile gamer, this kind of means nothing to me because I do not know what I should be feeling. Like, to me, it moves when I swipe, that's fine. Does it make me a better mobile gamer? I have honestly no idea. Okay, so Apex Legends Mobile. Gameplay wise, it is tough. Usually I'm used to flicking and clicking because I only ever played FPS games on a mouse and keyboard. And I'm absolutely trash when it comes to using my thumbs to aim. I don't like that feeling of acceleration where when you flick harder, the camera moves faster. I want to flick at a certain strength and I know that my crosshair is going to end up on my target. But the overall feel of playing Apex on mobile, it's pretty much the same. I did find it hard to do the slide and jumping thing that you see people do on the PC. But that's because of the buttons being placed too far away from each other. Now, again, I know you can rearrange the layout, but again, if you are not a very good mobile player, that's still very hard to pull off on Apex Mobile. Now, but what is nice is that I can actually move away the aim down sight and the shooting button because all of that is mapped to the triggers on the Black Shark 5 Pro. So that kind of gives me more space, but it still doesn't help the fact that there is a lot of movement that you want to do to pull off the stunts, if you know what I mean. I also noticed that people tend not to be as mobile as they are on PC because again, it's just not easy to slide, crouch, jump all at the same time. So essentially, it becomes a slower version of the PC game, which when I think about it, it kind of makes sense because if you are going to launch a game like this on mobile, then you might want to make it a bit more accessible for people because the skill ceiling in Apex Legends on the PC is pretty damn high. Now that aside, there is also this extra level of worry because the phone does get hot. And I don't have to tell you this, but a mouse and keyboard doesn't overheat. So playing for longer hours adds that worry that you're holding something hot and should you be concerned that the phone is hot for a very long time. So all in all, playing Apex Legends Mobile on the Black Shark 5 Pro is pretty neat experience, right? Like, I really like the pop-up triggers because they are not like these touch-sensitive triggers. They're actually physical triggers that you can push down and feel. So that gives it a more authentic gaming experience. But I think that Apex Legends Mobile is kind of a former shell of the PC version, if that kind of makes sense. It's not as fast-paced, it's not as intense, it's not as adrenaline rush as the PC version. But at the end of the day, it still gives you that sense of experience because it is still much faster than a lot of the Battle Royale games out there. And playing it on the Black Shark 5 Pro is really good because one thing that I really liked about this phone, playing Apex Legends on this phone especially, is that it comes with an OLED display. So that's a very beautiful display because the colors are vibrant, the blacks are actually blacks, and it's not every day that you can experience gaming on an OLED display. So it's nice that the Black Shark 5 Pro makes that a bit more accessible. And not to mention that it also has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor. So if Apex Legends is not really your thing and you want to go over to Genshin Impact instead, then it's still gonna be a very, very good performance phone. But that's it guys, I don't want to take up too much of your time. That was my experience playing Apex Legends on PC, going over to the mobile version and trying it out on the Black Shark 5 Pro. Let me know what you think. Do you think that mobile gaming is going to overtake PC? Personally, I don't think so, but I want to know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to us. I'll see you in the next video.